And the Vancouver Canucks were officially eliminated from the playoffs, but the Blues do pick up 2 points. Let's talk about it.
Hi, I'm Robert Thomas, and this is Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to Locked On Blues. I am your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our Blues. On today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about the Blues' 3-1 victory over the Vancouver Canucks. I want to talk about how important these last few games are this season. I mean, we don't have a lot of games left. We need to talk about that. And of course, my favorite segment, Are We Feeling Blue?, where we discuss if this was a good week or a bad week for our Blues. We have a lot to get to today, but I do want to let you know before I begin today's episode that today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Hello, my friends. I know I've been missing a little bit this past week. I didn't have a voice, and I'm on this medication right now, which allows me to have my voice back, but it does come at somewhat of a cost to where I am getting sick a lot. So nighttime happens to be the best time for me. Anyways, with all things being said, let's talk about this game. The first period, the first 20 minutes, horrible hockey. It was sloppy hockey. I mean, I have seen beer league hockey better than that. You know what? I have seen high school hockey better than that. I have seen kids learning how to play hockey look better than that. It was a messy slop fest on the ice. I was not a fan. I was very disappointed. I thought to myself, Hale, how am I going to get through this whole entire game? I'm sick. I don't feel good. And I have to watch the Blues and Canucks. Like, this is my Saturday night. Just putting it in perspective. This is the highlight of my day. Blues Canucks. And I have to say, the game did pick up. It got better. It made me a little bit more entertained. And you know what? I'm not entertained in the fact that, this was the best game I've seen all season. No, it's never going to be the Blues and Canucks as the best games I've seen all season, but it did give me a little bit of excitement. We also had a few goals waived, by the way, in this game, which was a little bit ironic, right? I'm just saying, a little bit ironic. But anyways, let's go talk about the scoring. We had P.U. Suter scoring his 11th goal of the season, giving the Blues a 1-0 lead in like halfway in the second period. And then we had Bushi, my favorite, score like 90 seconds later. There was a goal that Holloway had, it was waved off, and then a goal that Snuggie had in the first period, and that was waved off. So that didn't happen. But Bushi scored his 16th of the season. It's crazy. Can you think, and I'm not like trying to be sarcastic, but like, can you literally think of Bushi's like best moments of the season? Because I literally cannot. I sound like a hater. A little bit, actually. Okay, so then we go on to the final frame, and I'm thinking to myself, well, watch the Canucks tie it. And you know what? They did cut the deficit in half on the power play, so it wasn't so great. However, Jordan Kyrou, while the Blues were on the power play, was able to score an empty netter and gave the Blues evidently that 3-1 victory. Now, the Canucks eliminated. They were the first team that's eliminated from the playoffs. That doesn't come as a shock to hopefully anybody. I was a little bit surprised about the frustration from the Canucks players. I mean, granted, I do understand it sucks as an athlete to be in that situation, but like, let's be so for real. They were not going to advance. Like, it is what it is. Take the L now. You can plan your golf outings a lot faster, and you get a good chance of getting a good draft pick, which is where I am going with this. Heading into tonight's contest on Locked On Blues on Twitter, so it's just literally at Locked On Blues, I stated that I wanted the Blues to lose because I don't want the points. And there's so many people that are defending this like moral type of standard, but it doesn't make sense to me. Here's the bottom line. Your team is not a good hockey team. The Blues are not a good team. Don't you want to get a good draft pick? I mean, I know it comes down to those ping pong balls. By the way, we now found out it's going to be on May 5th. May 5th is actually the day after my cat's birthday, so we like May 5th. My cat Stella. Not the one that's always in the videos, that's Carmi. I feel really good. I feel really good about our odds of being in the top 5. I do. I feel really good about it. I've been telling so many people about it. I mean, you guys all know Sportsology, who comes on the podcast, Russ. We had a huge discussion on this at a game a couple weeks ago, and he agrees with me. Top 5 is where the Blues want to be. Well, you know how you get to have a top 5 draft pick? One, you got to hope that the ping pong balls work out in your favor, which is a huge, huge, huge factor, my friends. But the way that you can increase those odds, it's to be a bottom team. It is to be one of the bottom teams. It's kind of like gambling. See, like, I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite games at the casino. And no, it's not blackjack. I'm talking about roulette, okay? In roulette, you obviously have lots of chances, right, to win money. You can bet on red, you can bet on black, you can bet on even, you can bet on odd, you can bet on the numbers. There's a whole bunch of things that you can bet on. So let's go say, just for fun, I have 5 chips that I can give you, right? And let's go say, for fun, I only have 1 chip. So you have 5, I have 1. The 1 chip is if we finish maybe bottom 10, and the 5 chips is if we finish bottom 5. Follow along with me. This analogy, it does make sense. You're spreading your chips out. So you have a better chance of winning something. Me, on the other hand, I don't. And to sum it all up, it's because the ping pong balls, right? The ping pong ball, you see where it lands, if it's on red or black, which number, boom. Hey, you have a better chance of winning something than I do. And that is the situation that the Blues are in right now, where yes, it's not a guaranteed. And I know that, you know that, we all know that, but it gives you better odds. And don't you want better odds? I don't want the guys to go out on the ice and purposely play bad. And I feel like a lot of us think, for whatever reason, that's the only way that this team can lose. I can tell you this team can lose by just showing out on the ice the way that they are. Like, they're not a good hockey team. I would suggest mixing up the lines even more. That first line with Holloway, Tomer, and Snugs looks phenomenal. We know it looks good. Mess it up. Like, just mess every line up at this point, because I cannot justify the Blues winning. I cannot justify these points. I want the young guys to do well. The guys that need contract extensions, I get it. I get why you need to play tough. And I'm not telling the players not to play tough. It's more so I need the coaching staff to just mix it up a little bit. This team isn't a team. I'm sure there's people that think this, because I get comments all the time, which is so insane to me, that think that they can make the playoffs this year. I'm going to give you a quick reality check. It is March 21st. Do you really think that the St. Louis Blues are going to be able to win out every single game and hope that other teams lose and they will somehow get the second wild card? Because if so, I really wish I had the optimism in life that you have, because it doesn't make sense to me. It's not logical, and it's nearly impossible. I think the odds are like 1.5 something. Like, that's such low odds. Why would you even count on that? I get going out with dignity. I do. And I understand that we never want to see our guys in blue lose. And I get that. I really do. But do you think the San Jose Sharks look back and say, "Oh, it sucks that we lost, that Malcolm Celebrini"? No, like, they're happy about it. They're happy that they have Celebrini. Or even the Blackhawks, "Oh, it sucks that we didn't do well." Okay, you have Connor Bedard. So I feel like at the end of the day, it sucks either way. Little rhyme of the day. Ooh, Haley. That was good. But it does suck. Flat out. It sucks. It sucks that they're going to have to lose. It sucks that this is the situation that they put themselves in, first and foremost. But evidently, I'm just looking for the future. Well, I'm looking forward to the future. And for me, that's the young talent, and I just want to pick up some. Well, we have a good amount of picks, but I want to pick up at least a really good player in the top five or nothing. Well, no, it's going to be something, but I just really want that top five. All right, coming up next, how important are the games now? Because what is the goals? And again, my friends, I do want to remind you that my voice still hurts so bad. So if it doesn't sound 100% crisp, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to get through today's episode. But before I talk to you about the importance of these upcoming games, I want to talk to you about my friends, but I'll talk to you on the other side. College basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. From early tip offs to late night West Coast shootouts, there's always action on the board. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. Personally, for me, when it comes to the basketball tournament going on, I I always go for the underdogs, and well, I can tell you this, if you bet on teams like Villanova, yeah, you're not going to be happy because they lost, and I'm happy about that. So you always want to go for the underdogs. So this is what you need to do. You need to go safe, go bold, ride the team you've been following all season. It's your parlay, your style, now with more upside behind it. Head to fanduel.com to get started. That's fanduel.com. FanDuel, play your game. I also want to plug our Everydayer Club. For only $5 a month, you get ad-free episodes of Locked On Blues audio. You're also invited to an exclusive Discord chat. I never used Discord before until the Everydayer Club, and it was so easy to navigate. We all know I'm always tweeting, but literally Discord is a little bit easier than that. So I would check it out if I were you, and I hope to see you there. And if you join, let me know, and I will give you a shout out. All right. How important are these next games for the Blues? Because I care about the young talent. I care about the guys like Snuggies. I don't necessarily care about the wins because to me, that is a loss. A win is a loss in my eyes. And these next games, I know we don't have a lot of hockey left, which makes me actually really sad that the season is winding down, but we all know I love the playoffs. Playoff hockey, I mean, oh my gosh, playoff hockey is some of the best hockey you'll see. I could go on and on and on about why the Stanley Cup playoffs is the best compared to all other sports. I mean, granted, I know football, it depends on, I mean, this year it sucked. Like, let's be honest, it sucked. But I mean, you always get good puck action with playoff hockey. So I'm looking forward to that very much so. We're going to be able to actually watch some good, clean hockey and not garbage on ice. It's like Disney on ice, but garbage on ice because it's the Blues. I can't believe they had the Blues and the Canucks for Canada's game of the night. Like, again, I get that these things are pre-planned, but like, be so for real. I guess they got me because I was watching. Okay. We have the Capitals that we're hosting on Tuesday. And then and then we're hosting those San Jose Sharks. Okay. Really fast about the Sharks, and I know that I have somewhat Twitter beef with a lot of Sharks fans because I talk about the hand pass a lot, and again, like, I'm not sorry for that, but they are a fast skating team. I actually watched some Sharks hockey today. And I mean, while the accuracy with the shooting isn't the best, what I can say is their skating is elite. And having good skating, I mean, we don't talk about that enough, right? We talk about stick handling, we talk about everything other than skating sometimes, hockey IQ. The skating on San Jose is some of the best skating I have seen in quite a while. These kids are fast. They're so fast. Celebrini's fast. Will Smith, fast. I mean, Sherwood. I mean, we can go on and on. It's fast, fast, fast. This is a fast hockey team. Now, the one advantage that the Blues have is that with their shooting, they're more accurate, right? It may not seem like it because trust me, it doesn't seem like it, but they are a little bit more accurate. But I mean, San Jose is a team that very well could come here to Enterprise and beat us. And would I be upset about it? No. I would be upset about it if we were trying to make it into the playoffs, but because we're not, I would not be upset about it. Another interesting little tidbit that I want to add is that I don't want the Blues necessarily to be one of those teams that just gives up. Like, obviously, I want them to play tough hockey, but you can still play tough hockey and lose. Like, it goes not hand in hand, but like it makes sense with a team that's not doing so well. I mean, as frustrated as the Canucks players are tonight, if you think about it, they have the highest odds of getting the first overall pick, which means that they could get McKenna. Like, you have to think about it like that. The players are going to be annoyed. We know that. But the management and the front office, I'm sure they're going to be happy. I mean, it's really difficult, right? Because at the end of the day, all these athletes are professional athletes, and you have to keep in mind that being a professional athlete, you're getting paid to play the sport that you've played your whole life, right? And all you know is how to win, in a sense, right? Because you were probably the best in juniors, you were probably the best wherever you developed KHL, AHL, it doesn't matter. And then you come to the NHL and here you are, you made it. So obviously the mentality is, how can we win? So I understand for players how frustrating that can be. However, I do think in the long run, a player like McKenna could significantly improve a team within a season. I do believe that. That is how good this kid is. I watch a lot of Penn State games because I've been quite interested, honestly, in how he plays, and he's that good. So I really like McKenna. Do I think we're going to get him? Most likely not, honestly. Like, with the Blues winning, it's not looking so great but hey, I'll be a little bit optimistic. However, I do want to note too that there are a lot of good talents in this draft, and I'm going to have Russ on because Russ knows this better than I do. I mean, this is what he does for a living, right? He studies the prospects, he goes out and sees them. Like, he knows, but I'm telling you, hundreds of prospects. He literally does. Whenever we sit together, he'll always like show me the different guys that he's interviewed throughout the years, and he's talked to every single person on the Blues. So, and not even like talking to them like as they were a Blue, like as they were just potential prospects. So he is the best person that we can talk to about it. He is an expert, and I don't say that lightly. I don't really say necessarily that there's a lot of experts, right? Because it's hard to be an expert when it comes to analyzing things. However, when that's all you do and that's what you specialize in, yeah, I'm going to call you a prospect expert, obviously. But going on, I just hope that you are now understanding why these points are just not beneficial, okay? So after the Sharks, we then host the Maple Leafs, a team that's a disaster themselves. And then we go to San Jose, we go to the Kings, and we go to the Ducks, and then we go to the Avalanche. Then I'm just going to tell you the rest of the season at this point. Then we host the Avs, we host those Jets. Then we go to Chicago, we're hosting Minnesota. We host the Penguins, our last home game, April 14th. And then we're out in Utah, April 16th. And guess what? The season will be done. I am so excited about that. Like, is that bad? I just feel like this season was just so disappointing. And the hockey that I watched just was not it. And tonight, it was sloppy. They were able to score some goals, but it wasn't like it was good hockey. It was not good hockey. And they're going to have to work very hard with this transition, by the way, from Army to Steiner. They're going to have to work with just some of the younger players that they have. I mean, at this point, I might just be watching the T-Birds because I'm excited about the younger guys, right? I'm excited about some of the players that could be something, right? Like Stencil. I'm so excited about him. I also want to add that there might be a rule change next season to where if you're 19 years old, you can be in the AHL, which to me, it's so bizarre that that's even a thing. But that was something that I heard buzzing around today. So I wanted to share that with you because that is a really, really big deal to me and something that's annoyed me for so many years. All right. Well, we're going to talk about Are we feeling blue? Was this a good week or a bad week for our boys in blue? But I will talk to you about that right after this. There's nothing like being in an NBA arena, the crowd, the energy, the moment. Getting tickets, though, that part hasn't been so simple. That's why Gametime has been the go to app for scoring tickets fast without the hassle. It puts the advantage back where it belongs with the fans. When I pulled up the Gametime app, one thing that I really liked is that I can see my view from my seats. And that way, I know exactly where I'm going to be sitting and what it's going to look like. I'm short. So, for me personally, I like being a little bit higher up sometimes. But Gametime, it lets me see that. I also like that there is no surprise fees at checkout. So everything is just super quick and stress free from start to finish. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKED ON for $20 off your first purchase. That's code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. And remember, it's .co, not .com. So one of my favorite Friday segments that I like to do, it's a little thing called Are We Feeling Blue? Where I talk to you if this was a good week or a bad week for the St. Louis Blues. And first and foremost, this game tonight has nothing to do with how I felt. I know that I usually do it on Friday, so just take that into consideration. I'm not going to equate this specific game in. I was annoyed, annoyed a lot this week. On Sunday, we lost to those Jets. We were winning. Like we were winning hockey games prior to that. And I thought to myself, I was a little bit delusional, but I thought to myself, well, you know what? There's a small chance, but there's a chance. And I believed. I believed for a little bit. I was a little bit delusional. I believed. Okay. We lose to the Jets. And then we have a shootout loss to the Flames. And you know what that told me? We're losers. And I don't mean that like in a bad way, but we're not a playoff team. So I think it just comes to acceptance. And for me, I can't say it was a bad week, but I can't say it was a good week. It was like a midweek, if that makes sense. I have been so repetitive with this because this is how frustrating I am with this situation. I feel like so many of you are holding on to this like last ounce of hope. And if you are, I am here for you, okay? I get it. I get that you don't want to see your hockey team lose. I don't either, obviously. But we need to just accept that this is a hockey team that is not a playoff team. After the Blues got eliminated last season, former captain Braden Shen said, I won't be able to call ourselves a playoff contending team until we are a playoff contending team. And at first, I thought to myself, well, you just made it into the playoffs and got eliminated. So wouldn't you head into this season kind of being one of those teams that people might think, hey, this is a playoff contending team? Well, Braden was right because this team is not a playoff contending team, which is why he is now on the New York Islanders and waived his no trade clause. I think that it says a lot too when your captain waives his clause. Justin, I don't care about. But again, I think that the direction the Blues are heading is exciting. I am so excited for the young players. I am. And the Theos, the Ottos, the Snuggies, the Dvorskys. Like, I am so, you know what? Even Logan May, I'm excited about now. I'll say it. He had a nice little scrapple tonight. Love to see him throwing the gloves. But I just want to reiterate that sometimes you're going to have to just accept the L. And that's why the Blues have been so complacent for such a long time historically. It is because they have not accepted that. For whatever reason, it's always been, well, let's go to the playoffs. You make it to the first round and lose. The amount of times that this team has lost to Montreal in the first round, I mean, is insane. Like, I really urge you to look at the Blues history and to see their track record of playoff hockey because it's really not good at all. It's really bad. Like, really, really bad. And the only way to break this cycle is to do something different. And that's with anything in life. Your life is never going to evolve if you continue to do the same things every day. You have to go out of your comfort zone. And yes, it is uncomfortable to say, well, maybe the best thing for my team is for them to lose. And it's not like you're saying it because you're happy about them losing. You're saying it because you know that's the best thing for the team is to lose now so that way they become better. And vice versa. I mean, if they had a little bit more talent, and they were buyers at the deadline, it could be a completely different conversation. Sometimes you do have to go all in and have to just take a chance and trust that everything will work out because sometimes things do work out, not just hockey, but in life. Hockey is so much like life sometimes. And that's why, with all these comparisons, I hope that for whatever reason, if it's in your head because you were always told, don't give up, blah, 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 you're not giving up if it's for a purpose, especially like hockey. It's for your team to get a good draft pick. It's not as deep as maybe you are making it out to be. But hey, um, that was really deep today. I did not expect myself to be all like Dr. Phil here, but hey, here I am once again. All right, I will talk to you on Monday. And like always, let's go Blues.